Hi, I'm Eddie, and welcome to Eddie the channel with some numbers and stuff. I don't know, if you put in crystals and Eddie, it might come up. Hopefully it does. Anyway, thank you for supporting the channel, and so I'm going to talk about crystals and how to buy them. So, and what to look for when you buy them. So I've noticed a few things basic with crystals. If it's got a point on, it's really quite strong. Like, put it on your tongue and you might be able to feel a bit of a zing, like on a 9-volt battery. Didn't feel it then, but I have done. This is a bit of angelite, so it's great for the throat chakra. So big chunk like this, not so good because it's got a big sharp point. It's pretty uncomfortable on the throat. It's heavy. So the type of crystal is important, how heavy it is and the size. So yesterday I went shopping and I brought a piece of angelite. So I like angelite because it vibrates like the same frequency as I do, and you can put it on your throat easily without it suffocating with it. So, you know, these tumbled stones are good for shark placements. You know, you don't want a big chunk of obsidian under your back for your root chakra when you're lying down. So yeah, get a nice flat stone of obsidian would be really good. I've got actually a tumbled stone, which seems to be okay. Yeah. So yeah, tumbled stones are, like I say, they're just tumbled for ages, days in a tumbler, and they come nice and tumbled, and then they polish them up with some polishing discs, I suppose. Not quite sure, but yeah. So I find them cheapest, and they're usually really good because you can hold them and they warm up real quick. So if you've got anything big, just hold on a second. Anything big like this is like for your palm to hold on to because it's the right size of your palm. It can take a long time to warm up. So one thing I do is I run them under warm water just for a split second, just enough to warm them up, and then towel dry and they're ready to go. So especially if they're big. I notice with big crystals, they also take longer to feel the energy of them. So you can be waiting around like, oh, that's taking about 3-4 more seconds than a smaller one. Not that you should be in a rush. But yeah, yesterday I was feeling this big geode. It was like, 5 feet high. And it was all this amethyst inside it, big crystals. I put my hand on the outside of it because I didn't want to touch the crystals because I'm not going to buy this big expensive geode. And I was feeling it and I'm thinking, that's really unusual. I was expecting like a big rock like that, big geode to be heaps of power straight up. And then I remembered, it's a big rock, it might take some time. And it was taking a long time. It took like 20 seconds before I could start to feel anything. And then when it came in, it was like, ooh, that's really strong. Yeah, I could really feel it. Yeah, it was pretty amazing actually. Yeah. But big crystals, you put a big crystal in front of me, like big chunky one, especially quartz or something like that, I don't even need to touch it. It's like half a foot away from me, I can feel it, or a foot. And if it just sits there, within about 20 minutes, I can feel that really good. Yeah, goes straight to my head and that. And the other thing I wanted to, this is Kyanite. See, these are high vibrational stones I was after. And this one's sodalite. Well, that one's not very high. Angelite is, and cryolite. So they're good for like head chakras, like third eye's good, throat, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's all I could find was, not cryolite. It's kryptonite. No, that sounds like something from Superman. Yeah, you know what it is if you look it up. It's a really dark looking blue, but this was found outside in some tubs. So yeah, just loose. So see, it's got sharp little bits. It's not so good for the third eye if it falls off and gets into your eye or drops bits off it. It could quite sharp actually. So when using stuff on your third eye, you know, third eye is up here, and you're lying down, you know, put something small. I use this soda light. It was giving me a really good signal when I brought it, but I was trying out a whole lot of different crystals all at once, and I was using carnelian, and I went from carnelian to this to find out which one was the higher frequency, and then all of a sudden it just like lost. It's got no energy in it at all. It just disappeared. So that was interesting. So, but anyway, I buy my crystals. Okay. Sorry. And then I brought 2 crystals at the same time, and they were my first. And it was a bit of rose quartz and the selenite. And I just put the crystals on top of there, leave them in the sun for half an hour. Actually, I've been putting them in the sun for too long. You know, that might have caused a bit of bleaching. Like I was saying on another video, I might have bleached one of the other stones, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I've been putting them on for a couple of hours. But yeah, they say only for about half an hour. I saw on someone else doing it, so which might be enough. So I get my stones and bring them home, and the first thing I do is wash them. You know, even the ones that might dissolve a bit. I probably didn't do it with this one, but I should have, because it smelled like perfume, because the woman who passed it to me had perfume on her hands. It smelled like her for ages. And then yeah, but I wash them with soft soap, warm water, and I do it really quickly because I don't want it to dissolve, because it's soft, especially angelite. You might have to be careful and just, you know, do it if you want to do it. If it's too risky, don't do it. But this was sticky because people had been touching it all the time, bogey hands or whatever they have. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, I wash them very quickly under warm water with a bit of soft soap, dry them with a towel, and then they're ready to go. And then place them on a selenite stick. Get a piece of selenite that's straighter than that, because that's quite hard. Sometimes they go like that, so they balance better. You can't even see that, sorry. So they balance better. Yeah, so I'll have to hold things up higher, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, and you get pointed things like this. They're actually good to have around you know, in your room. You put them by your office desk or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, and people do all sorts of things with pointed wands and things, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I've gone to different rock shops. So I've got a local one I use here, and they're really good because they actually feel the stone, especially larger pieces. They make sure the energies are really nice energy, and that's really nice to come across, and you find these crystals that, oh wow, that's amazing. And yes, so they go to some depths to you know, get really nice crystals. And they also you know, you're looking at sustainability. It's from a health food store here, so you're looking at sustainability, and also, you know, how are the workers treated, you know, on that side of things. You don't want, you know, bad karma on your crystals, sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, those things come into play. So it pays to ask the question. You know, it's often not at the forefront of your mind. It's often not at my forefront of the mind. I'm looking at the crystals and go, oh well, that's nice. But yeah, if you can remember to ask those questions, I think you know, you're sending good vibes around the world. You stop exploitation and that sort of thing of humans and resources of Earth and that. So yeah, that's one thing. I'm just thinking of what I'm going to say next. Yeah, so that's our local store, and if they're tumbled stones, they're not named, so you just have to ask them what they were. And yeah, so and then I've gone to a witchcraft store because I was looking for a certain stone, and they had it there. So that it was like in a cabinet, so you have to ask the person behind the desk, oh, can you open up the cabinet to have a look at it? Which is, a bit hassly, and it's kind of witchcrafty, so which I'm not really that used to. So, but yeah, that was a good stone. It was one of those rose quartz ones that went white on me, but it wasn't because of their stone. I think it was because of me. Yeah, so that was all right. But the selection's not huge, and it's behind a case, so you can't just touch it. So that's something I like to do, is touch the stone, and then oh yeah. But and then I've gone to a chain store that is what is it? The New Age store. That's actually a chain store in one of the little cities not far away. One of these suburb cities, and yeah, all the rocks are in cabinets, and all the tumbled rocks are, all the crystals are all behind glass, so you have to ask all the time. And I sort of like to, as I go through, I grab a whole handful of them of the same type of rock, and then I'm feeling each one and putting it one a yes or a no. I can feel it. Oh, it's a bit. I can feel it, but it's not very powerful. And so I just grade them, and then make 2 piles. And then I put the first pile back, which hasn't got much oomph in it, and then I just go through that last pile, and just pick out the one I want. So yeah, that's how I choose. And then I have gone to another store, which was sort of like an independent store that sells rocks and new age things and books and that was really good, because they had a big frame table with little cubicles of rocks, and really well labelled, and when you bought the rock, it was actually on the receipt of what you'd brought, which was very handy. And then which reminds me, when you buy a rock, write yourself a little label and then take a photo of it, and then you'll remember what the rock is, because after a while, if you haven't used it, or you might forget what the rock is, and then you forget, oh, I wonder what that rock was for, what chakra was it for, so maybe I find that's quite useful. And I just put, like, if I buy half a dozen rocks, gemstones, I'll just put them in a row and just put little labels underneath them, take a photo, and it's recorded, and go back, look at it. And so yeah, I found that going back to that independent one, yeah, I found that quite good. That was quite good, because I like to sort through all the different rocks and feel them and see what's about. And then I went to this really huge place. It was like an acre or half an acre of rocks, and most of them were in outside, and they're in not cages, they're in baskets, and they're all in the rough. But the pricing was had a range, like $5 to $15, depending on the size you brought. So it was a bit variable, like you didn't know how much you were actually spending until you got to the counter, and some of the writing was faded, so you didn't actually know. So and the rocks are outside, so they're getting bleached and weathered. So yeah, they also had tumbled stones inside. Yeah, and they had some moldavite behind the glass case too. So yeah, which is, moldavite's pretty pricey. So I just wanted to touch moldavite because I'd never touched it before, and so they had some big pieces, like it was like $1,500 worth. I told the girl before I said, oh, can I have a look at the moldavite? I just want to feel it, and then she had to come over, and then, oh, which one do you want to feel? And I go, oh, the earrings, because all the other pieces of moldavite are in little cases, you can't get to it. So yeah, I could feel the earrings, and it's really quite strong. I could really feel it right through the centre and up high. So yeah, it was all a good experience. But you know, because everything was outside, the outside part was people would put rocks in different baskets. So I go up thinking I've brought something, and it was another type of rock. But it's lucky they knew what sort of rock it was, so they gave me the choice if I still wanted it or not. So yeah, so yeah, that's my experience with buying, and that outdoor place was, of course, I think one of the cheapest places. The chain store was one of the more expensive places, but it had a little piece of paper for each of the stones I'd brought, detailing what it's good for, and yeah, so that was good. And I do like our local store down here, where it's, you know, they do feel, because there's a great owner there that knows stones and can feel them, and she knows the energy in them, so she's quite psychically aware, and yeah, it's just amazing the ones she chooses. So, you know, and they're sort of like mid-price, so yeah, so I get most of mine from there. But yeah, so shop around. I haven't tried online, because online you can't feel the stone, so you know, I always like to feel it, because you know, you pick up a whole lot of stones, half of them you can't even feel much on them, and then the other half is like really zinging and really, you know, you can really relate to it pretty good. So yeah, but it's not to say online's no good, it's just that I haven't experienced it yet, and when I do, I'll make another video. So I'm Eddie, and check out cutitoutcards.com. Cards that you print, you know, colour in, great for the kids. Yeah, check it out, have some fun, and spread some love around with birthday cards. We've got wedding stuff, wedding cards, and a whole range of sick cards. That's not the name. Get well soon, I mean, cards, you know. Yeah, all the cards are really sick because they're really funny, you know, because they're quirky. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you go, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video, and have a whole lot of fun, and yeah, see if you can feel some stones. Look at some older videos of mine. I'll show you how to feel stones and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's all learning and all interesting, and yeah, have fun. Catch ya.